Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Wednesday, January 22nd. I am here with Pigoy. You can follow him on Twitter at TCF Pigoy and Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter, who is also the biggest Chiefs fan. He also just took his yellow headband
It's not
off.
yellow, it's
That
green.
looks yellow to the people. I'm going to say that looks
I
yellow
know
to the people.
Pigo is colorblind, but Zach, I'm starting to get worried about you.
On with his red. Some would maybe say orange, but it looks red.
It's not
to
red,
me.
it's orange.
So he's a big Chiefs fan over here. He's really pulling for Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid here in the Super Bowl. That's booming.
I'm a man of my word. I'll stick to it. I did pick them on Monday's show to win the Super Bowl, so fine. I'll stay on them. If I got to be a Chiefs guy for the next 2 weeks, I'm fine with it.
Put your bandana back on. I can't believe you changed it. That's
No, I found my favorite winner head. I thought I lost.
At Boomy TCF. You can follow me at ZLilja, LILJA, on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. You'll follow us on there. We put all of our YouTube videos, our podcasts from the TCF Morning Show and the TCF, the Typical Chicago Fan podcast, which will be coming out here soon. Also, oh man, Blackhawks just went down.
Oh, yeah.
The Blackhawks just went down.
Did you put that up today, Big Z? Or?
I will put that up soon. It is all ready to go. So it'll pretty much be coming out with this too. So go check that out on our Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast from. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe, rate, review, unsubscribe, resubscribe again. Like I said, check out episode 62 of Typical Chicago Fans and the TCF morning shows that are all on our podcast. And go to the YouTube page. The YouTube video will be up there too of episode 62 and all of our TCF morning show. This TCF morning show. Go to the YouTube page, subscribe, get us to 50 so somebody can win a free T-shirt. Boys. Oh wait. The Money Otter. Go to themoneyotter.com. We love the Money Otter. This beautiful mug right here was made by Hannah in the lab. The Typical Chicago Fan logo right there. The Money Otter at the bottom. Go to the Money Otter. Check out all their products. Go buy something from them. They have beautiful pottery and woodworking stuff on there. They say go to their Instagram or Facebook if you have some custom ideas for them. Mitch and Hannibal said they would love some different ideas for some stuff if you have them, and they can do it. So again, that is themoneyotter.com. Also, Score Trader. We'll be getting more into it tomorrow, or hopefully tomorrow with Owen. They're getting some stuff together here for the Boomy. I'm going to need to ask you a question. What is a caucus? Iowa
caucus
this will be for the Iowa caucus.
So basically, a caucus is a vote from the Democrats in a particular state who they will cast their votes for at the national convention. I believe. I'm not 100% on that. Okay. I was only a political science minor. That might have been something I slept through. So
it's more than I would even get close to. But we will be getting more into that. Boomy will be getting into that too. He'll be doing this for the TCF podcast this time, a TCF morning show this time instead of Pigoy, who is with football. Pigoy, I'm sorry. I was hoping you wouldn't be offended if I gave the duties over to Boomy here for the political stuff. I didn't think you would care too much. I was hoping it wouldn't hurt your feelings.
No,
like I said,
no, I don't.
Go to Score Trader. Go to the Apple Store. Go to the search bar. Type in Score Trader. Download the app there. You'll win. We'll win some money here soon with the political stuff. We'll get more into.
I'm not sure I could even spell the word caucus, so that's fine.
I had no idea when Owen said I'm about to ask Boomy. So like I said, we'll get more into it when we get more details. But again, Score Trader, the Money Otter. We love you guys. But let's get into our first topic today. The Hall of Fame announcement has been made. Derek Jeter, Larry Walker have made the Hall of Fame. Derek Jeter, though, not a unanimous pick. A lot of Yankees fans not happy about it. We're thinking that he deserves
one vote away.
One vote away. Sometimes somebody just doesn't want it to be unanimous or something. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. But one guy, and I'm guessing at some point the one guy will most likely come out who voted, unless I'm wrong there. But I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. I guess it's a privilege to be unanimous, but what I want to get into right now is the guys who didn't get voted in this year. And I understand There's
I
only two
agree.
guys. Is there always only two guys?
No, it's all on
Also, one
percentages.
thing without Larry Walker, the second a Canadian-born player in the Hall of Fame, first Fergie Jenkins, who actually made
Yep.
the call to him to make it. That was a very cool moment. It's been a long time.
Hey, can I say something real quick about Derek Jeter? And this kind of goes to your point, though, Zach, that we're going to really dive into here. I don't like the Yankees. I didn't like Derek Jeter, but I think we can all agree that he should have been a
Yeah, I'm
unanimous
not saying
first
that
ballot Hall of
he
Fame.
shouldn't be in the
I
Hall of
don't
Fame,
like
but
the
I don't
guy.
really care that much to get worked up over one vote. You know what I mean?
No,
And I understand it probably means a lot to somebody, but honestly, I don't think it means that much to a guy like Derek Jeter. That's just me. I don't think he's that kind of guy that's going to look back and go, I wish I had unanimous. There's a lot of guys who probably would like to have it, but I just feel like he's the type of guy that's going to keep it moving. He probably didn't even care. But the Larry Walker thing's cool. I think it showed like when he first started, the first year he had like 20-something% of the vote,
Yeah.
and now is in the Hall of Fame many years later.
I mean, that guy legitimately built the Colorado Rockies
Yes,
organization.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. It's just starting to
by
get
himself.
me worked up
Right.
about the guys who aren't at this point. Like guys like Barry
You
Bonds,
can't look me straight in the
Roger
eyes and tell
Clemens,
me that he's better than Barry
Kurt
Bonds or Roger
Schilling. Like
Clemens.
I understand after baseball he became a very
Absolute
unlikable
half-bag.
person. But he still is a great baseball player and was an amazing
Yeah.
pitcher. And it's guys like that you start looking at like, how are these guys not being allowed into a Hall of Fame? I understand there's stuff going on with the steroids and everything, but so is everyone from this era now, like everyone on the Astros team, not going to be allowed to be in the Hall of Fame because of the cheating and the stuff going around that? Like, is every single situation, is that going to start happening now, or are they going to start allowing some of these guys who were involved in steroids finally into the Hall of Fame at some point?
It's like it's been like this for the last probably 4 or 5 years now, where with the steroid guys not coming in, it's like the conversation is bigger for those that don't get in compared to the ones that do actually get in.
Yeah.
It's like there's more of a gripe than the ones that don't get in, as opposed to like, oh, this guy probably shouldn't have got in, but he got in. It's like, no, like if your sole focus every year is just a bitch about who doesn't get in, then something's not right.
Yeah, because that just means that the wrong players are getting into the Hall of Fame. And I'm not saying guys like Larry Walker shouldn't be getting into the Hall of Fame, but it should be guys like Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, and Larry Walker getting into the Hall of Fame. Like something like with 4 or 5. Like, why can't there be bigger class? Like, what am I missing here of why there was only 2 this year? Am I just?
I mean,
Boomy, you take this one.
Yeah. Do you have any idea?
The Hall of Fame voting comes down to a percentage, and you have to clear a certain percentage of the votes.
Was it 75?
I think it's 75%. So you have to have 75% of the voters vote for you.
And they were the only 2 people that had over 75%.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
I agree, but it's like you talked about, man. It's old curmudgeons that are feel like they're the same guys that also say that like if a guy flips a bat that you should throw a fastball at his head and possibly end his career. Like it's those idiots. So you got to remember the source you're talking about, and it's BS, man. Like stop acting like Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire didn't save baseball from the absolute catastrophe that it was in the early '90s. Like get out of here. If it wasn't for those guys, no one even cares about who's in the Hall of Fame.
If it's played out like it should, Sammy Sosa should be like a 5th or 6th or maybe 7th year Hall of Famer, like on the ballot for 5 or 6 years. He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame right away because, yeah, he probably used steroids and that probably helped his career. Maybe he should be a later run, or maybe he shouldn't even be in. But there's guys like Barry Bonds who were clearly one of the greatest players of all time. Roger Clemens, one of the best pitchers of all times. Like guys like that, like the clear-cut guys. Like is Alex Rodriguez not going to be allowed in the Hall of Fame? Like it's just when is the list going to end of not letting some of the greatest players of all time into the Hall of Fame? It's starting to get old. Honestly, it's starting to get really old. Like some people say the NBA lets too many people in. Maybe the Hall of Fame, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame should. Like I went there this year. It's a cool town. I understand like the history around the town and everything, and they keep it it's all owned by Major League or whoever owns the Hall of Fame. It's very cool, but it's one of those things. It's like at what point does this like not represent the greatest players in baseball? Like at some point, it doesn't have the best players in baseball of all time. I understand the whole, and there's even a wing of the Hall of Fame dedicated to steroids. Like
Yeah. Something's just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, it's like what are we talking about?
Yeah, like what it really like a sport that benefited a lot off of steroids is just trying to.
But let's not even act like there's not guys in the NBA and the NFL Hall of Fame that didn't do illegal things or things to improve their game.
The NFL Hall of Fame is riddled with PED guys.
Yeah, look at basically all those guys that plays for the Steelers back in the 70s. They were taking things that were illegal. So let's not act like it's, holier than thou kind of situation. Like, get over yourself and put the best players in there. I don't care how many steroids they had to take; they still had to hit the ball. And Barry Bonds was one of the best ones to ever do it. So shut up and put him in the Hall of Fame.
At some point, it just starts to get old, and you're starting to expect it.
It's this exhausting conversation.
Because what is it? Is it 10 years you're on the ballot and you're off? So
yeah, I think so. 10 or 12.
I don't know how much longer Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, how much longer those guys have left on the ballot, but at some point that's just crazy to think. What happens? Are you off for good, or do you have?
You go into like the senior committee, and you can be voted in by there's a committee of guys that can elect members who have lasted longer than 10 years without getting voted in. But it's like one a year.
With the knowledge right there, but yeah, it's.
I don't know the exact date, the committee's called, but I think it's I don't know if it's like the Prestige Committee or something like that, or the Legacy Committee. Legacy Committee might be it.
Before we get into the Coach Q stuff, we just had Jonathan Tays get into a little fight here against the Panthers.
Skirmish.
Unfortunately, the Blackhawks are down 2-0 as we speak in the second period. But the little feistiness coming from the captain after a morning skate fight with Duncan Keith. They said it was just friendly wrestling. Some people.
I don't think it was that friendly.
But they're hockey players. What do you? I don't understand why everyone was kind of blowing that up. Like, it's hockey. They fight for a living. Like, not for a living, but they fight it a lot. So why are we trying to blow up one fight? I mean, it doesn't happen a lot at hockey practices. I don't know. I'm not like that.
I have heard that this does happen usually once or twice a year on most teams.
So maybe it was just something that they're going to keep it.
They're hockey guys. Like, shit happens. Just, it's
hopefully they make a
in the middle of a season. It's a grind. They're on the fringe of they could make the playoffs. They're just
two guys who have been here forever.
And they're looking at the situation. They're kind of pissed off. They're not doing as good as they should be doing. So it's like, just let them do their thing. It's fine.
But like I said, tonight, Coach Q has been the Hawks welcome back Coach Q. It was a beautiful beautiful little tribute they had there for him. You could kind of see he looked like he was. I wouldn't say he's getting emotional, but he respected the moment. He loved it. He loved Chicago. Did any of you guys have a chance to listen to any of the interview before the game that he did with NBC Chicago?
Did not.
No, he kind of went to whenever they kind of talked about his departure, it seemed like it was definitely not a mutual departure. He did not seem like it went the right way. He's very respectful of everything, but you definitely could tell that the Blackhawks, I think they really screwed up in that firing and the way it went about.
Well, it's so think of it this way. It's kind of the same thing as Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. It's like, if you let this coach go, who in the hell is a better replacement than the guy you've got right now? That you can feasibly go get. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know now my argument kind of, separates itself when you talk about Jim Harbaugh and Joe Quenneville, but it's like, if you let this guy go, who in the hell is a better replacement than what you've already got?
Yeah, and with Colleton, it definitely has not worked out. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't worked out, but it hasn't worked out, though. It really, there's been nothing. He's been an average coach, I guess. The team's a lot better right now, but he's not doing anything crazy. There's really nothing. There were some interviews at the beginning of the year that he kind of just seemed like some things he was a little bit confused about and stuff like that.
You can tell he's still learning.
He's learning. You went from a very experienced coach to a guy who was coaching the Rockford Ice Hogs right before he was asked to coach the Chicago Blackhawks. So that is it's bittersweet because I love Coach Q and I wish he was still with the Blackhawks, and now that he's there tonight, and the Blackhawks are now down 3-0. On a 5-game win streak, so maybe this was just kind of expected to
But
happen.
so were the Panthers coming into tonight.
So yeah, two hot teams. But like I said, the Blackhawks sometimes they like to get down and come back. We'll see what happens. But like I said, we're really sad to see Coach Q here, but it is nice to know that all the fans still have love for him. He'll always have. I mean, it's one of those things you always say, the corny things of he'll never have to buy a beer in Chicago, but that's very true for Coach Q. He's beloved in Chicago forever. He was a dynasty, coached some of the best teams of all time in Blackhawks history, and he's the best. He's the best coach. We figured out he's actually number 2. Last night we found out he is number 2. He is 64 wins away from being the most winningest coach in Blackhawks history. They fired him before he was 64 wins away from being the most winningest coach. That's just more disrespectful than anything. I kind of
it's 2 seasons away.
Matt told me this last night, and I'm like, that's just more disrespect than anything. Well, you can't allow him to become the most winning. He would be very close right now, or maybe would have had it already.
It'd be
close. It'd be close. Illinois college hoops talk. We're done with the football talk. We have the Super Bowl coming up here. We'll definitely preview that next week a little bit. But we got a lot of I would have to say sports time to fill now with not having college football and NFL to fill up a lot of the shows. So we're going to start talking to a lot of the teams inside of Illinois, college football team, college basketball teams, because we got a lot of good teams going on here. Boomy was talking about how NIU beat Kent State, and it's Kent State's first loss at home this season.
Yeah, Kent State came in with a really nice record this year. They're sitting at right now. They were coming into the game at 13-5 and hadn't lost at home. And one of their losses, or 2 of their losses, I'm sorry, one was to Ohio State, who was ranked in the top 5 at the time, and then also to a decent SEC team in Mississippi State. And they lost at Cal Irvine, but they're good. NIU's middle of the road. They're 10-9 right now. They beat a good Buffalo team, but they go into Kent State in a weird gym, a gym I've been in, and it's a very big high school gym. To be honest with you, it's not like the Convocation Center, and obviously been a tough place to win. But NIU walks out with a 7-point win. It's something local. If you're in the western suburbs, get out to DeKalb for a game because they're playing some decent hoop, and the MAC's got a couple
good
teams.
Were you telling me that you're going soon to an NIU game?
Yeah, I'm going to the game on February 1st. They got Miami of Ohio coming into town. It'll be my second game of the year I've been to. We went and saw them play.
They got a cool court. They got a cool court there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Convocation Center is beautiful. I mean, I'm very biased because I got there for 3 years with the women's team. So, but I love going back. And there's some other good – I mean, obviously, we got to get into it, guys. Illinois is playing some really good hoop. They go on the road. Road Big Ten wins are hard to come by, as we talked about earlier, and they come out with a very convincing win at Purdue. No matter if it's the worst Purdue team of all time, Purdue is not the easiest place to win.
Hit me with the stat. Yeah. Hit me with the stat.
So, tonight, home Big Ten teams were 41-7 straight up. They were covering the spread at 66%. So you don't road Big Ten wins were non-existent. This is only the eighth? No, yeah, it was the 8th road Big Ten win of the season in college.
That's crazy. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, you don't go on the road in the Big Ten and win. Well, it's like the last time we saw Purdue, most recently they played Michigan State at home and they waxed them.
I'm sorry, guys. I am just now seeing this fight from Kansas. This is insane.
Yeah, this is insanity.
Oh, yeah.
This is wild. We're going to throw this. I know it's not – well, Bill Self used to coach Illinois. But Kansas State, a brawl at the end of the game. Unlike a lot of fights, you don't see this happen rarely anymore. Chairs involved, a lot of punching. That's just – it escalated quickly.
Yeah, it is wild stuff, dude. I'm all for like craziness in sports, but like this is in the crowd. Like
it gets
people are
behind the bench, and
That's
then
not cool,
they're
man.
the chair throwing kind of stuff is a
like a Malice in the
little too
Palace.
close to the fans. Yeah, luckily at Kansas, the fans are way back. They're not right on the court, so there's a space in between. Like you said, if it wasn't for that, they would have been pretty much right in the stands. There's still chairs behind there that they went into. That's pretty wild.
Right now, Kansas is 15-3, the number 3 ranked team in the country. It'll be interesting to see if they maintain in the top 5 after that, because players are going to get suspended.
Some of your best players are going to be suspended for maybe their whole season. Like you can't just.
I know it's a little off topic, but that Azubuike kid at Kansas, I legitimately feel like he's been in college since I was in college.
He's like the new Perry Ellis.
Yes, I was actually thinking about that at the gym the other day. Like this dude, literally Perry Ellis finished his 10-year career, and then
like
Azubuike started
game day
his.
is going to Kansas on Saturday.
They might rethink that.
That's crazy. I mean, like you said, some of there can be players like if you don't just pick up a chair and not get suspended for a long time.
Hope they got enough chairs at Kansas.
And hey, I know we were talking about Illinois, the state of Illinois basketball. I mean, Illinois State's down this year. They've been good in the past. I think they're kind of in a rebuilding mode right now. But Bradley, if you get a chance, if you're living in Central Illinois, head down to Bradley. They got a really nice squad over there. They're 13-6. Loyola is also 13-6, playing some really good hoop. They knocked out Illinois State the other day. UIC's down. Chicago State is down. But still, like you can go to college basketball games for like less than $10.
DePaul plays at home against Creighton today. So, and then they play at home against St. John's on Saturday, which I will be in attendance for that game. But
that's right.
Is DePaul ranked yet, or are they not ranked yet?
No, they fell out because they lost like the first 4 games of
conference play.
Big East play.
But they're kind of back on.
Yeah, they lost to Seton Hall, Providence, St. John's, and Villanova back to back, and then picked up a win against Butler.
They got Creighton.
That was a big win too. Butler was ranked 5th when they beat them, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the St. John's loss isn't bad. That's on the road. Villanova's on the road. You lose by 4, but they got beat by 8 at home to an average Seton Hall team and beat by 1 at home to an average Providence team. So.
But.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Seton Hall's pretty good.
You look at a team like Illinois, you look back at that Maryland loss. That's going to be a tough one on the road at Maryland. You kind of had the game won, and you fouled your way out of the game. In
the same breath, though, Maryland is 3-15-4 right now. I agree. It's not that great that you so like you weren't really expected to be in the game in the first place.
But what do you mean? Well, my point is, you want a big win like that. That would help you so much.
Right. But I don't think that hurts you necessarily when you come to like looking at resumes.
Well, yeah,
it would help you definitely, but I don't think it's going to kill
too. Like, you blew the lead on the road. Like that was a easily be winnable game. That should hurt you too. That can't not hurt you just because Maryland's a good team. Like that's a game you should win on the road with the lead.
Well, I think of it in the sense that, like, when you look at a team's resume, it goes like bad losses and good wins. And obviously that would be in a good win, but that's not a bad loss. Like, your bad losses are like if you lose by like 3 to
the way they lost is a bad loss. They literally had the game-winning shot, turned it over, fouled the guy 90 feet from the bat. I mean, that's a bad loss. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, Illinois, we got any more hoops talk here?
Bulls still suck, but that was all.
Yeah,
night,
we're talking college hoops.
Okay. Well, they basically play like a college team.
Yeah, could they beat a college team? We can do that in football.
Absolutely not. We can't even do that because they aren't even the worst team in the league. I mean, dude, they're 3 or 4 games out of the 8 seed.
They're so middle of the pack, it's disgusting.
We can be mad, but they're not the worst. There's a lot worse teams.
Right.
Unfortunately. Honestly, because we're in the middle. We're not bad enough for it to matter or good enough for it to matter. We're in the middle where nothing good's going to happen. You're just going to sit there forever and be average. All right, Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
Sure do, buddy, and you should probably pay attention to this one because you and I, together, we are big Waze app guys.
We're gonna have to.
Oh, I love Waze. I use Waze all the time.
Boomy.
Oh, all three of us.
I have to say, Boomy, when you were drinking there, and the way the camera froze,
paused.
the way the camera
Yes.
froze, that was maybe one of the funniest things
I was
I've
thinking the
ever
same
seen
thing.
on this show ever. Oh my god, we'll have to play it back.
A very Photoshop worthy.
Oh my
screen
god! But go
freeze
on with
there.
your web story. I couldn't hold
All
it,
right.
man. That was hilarious.
So next time you go to use Waze, just be careful because there's an epidemic happening in New Jersey where a Waze app user is being was misled, and has also happened a couple times. Misleading motorists headed to Atlantic City's Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spas, and it is literally taking these people and dropping them in the middle of the New Jersey Pine Barrens, which is like a forest preserve. This has happened a couple times in the recent weeks, and it's taking them basically to unpaved roads in the middle of these forest preserves that are 12,000 acres. And like I said, basically just trees and shit everywhere. So be careful if you're planning to head to Atlantic City or using Waze at all here in the near future. Make sure it's taking you to the right place and not to the middle
That's
of a
tough
forest.
because you use
here's
that a
my
lot,
qu-
don't you, Boomy?
I use it like interstate traveling
Not the back roads.
because
I
it
use it a lot,
checks for
too.
cops and stuff.
Don't
So, like,
speed.
here's my question.
No, can you be serious for 1 second?
All right, Pigo, go ahead.
So if you plug in like a casino into your Waze app, at what point do you like start looking around and just see like no lights? You're on the
Exactly.
wrong direction because any casino everywhere is very well lit, and there's probably a lot of other buildings around.
Oh,
it.
maybe it's behind that other group of trees.
Yeah, like what in the hell are you doing?
A hidden
Yeah, I
casino.
agree.
There's no such thing as a hidden casino.
No,
exactly.
Well, there are,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
not ones
tough.
that you're looking for. They're usually all lit up and want you to get there to get the money in the machine.
Yes.
So that
Yeah,
Right.
they might as well have
they're not
gigantic
hiding it
flashing
back
arrows.
in the woods. But
It's like-
honestly, I just want to end this show now so I can go watch that video back because that was maybe one of the
I hate you all.
funniest things I've ever seen. Anything post show, boys? You did it again. I mean, it didn't happen, but maybe you're setting
I
yourself
don't care.
up to
I'm not
failure.
letting you people. I'm not letting you people change who I am as a person.
I wouldn't try.
All right. Anything post show at all? How'd your Tuesdays go? Florida.
That's
It
pretty
was
good.
the most Monday of
We
Tuesdays
thought
ever.
Gators won,
Having
and
Monday
then they
off
actually
alone.
lost, so that's tough. That's a tough one to actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
tough.
Zach, you thought today was Wednesday and it was Tuesday. Or
No, what do you mean? When the show is, it's Wednesday. That's how we're.
right. Well, when you were trying to get guests lined up.
Oh
you were
well,
like,
yeah, that was
day ahead of-
well, yeah. I was hoping
Yeah.
it. I'm always hoping for it to be at least 1 to 2 days.
You know, this time travel thing we do is pretty.
Yeah, I'm a little impressed that we've been able to get this down as well as we have.
we have fucked it up.
I usually
bad.
just
Oh yeah.
stare at the date on the show. It's January 22nd.
I can't tell you how many times I've hit the information thing in the bottom right corner of my thing just to see what date it was.
And we're
Figuring
figuring.
it out. But this has been the TCF Morning Show, Wednesday, January 22nd. I've been joined by at TCF Pigoy, at Boomy TCF, and I have been at Zach Lilia, at Z Lilia, LILJATCF. It is not Zach. Maybe it should just be at Zach TCF. It's kind of funny.
We talked about this like 6 months ago. We need to change your Twitter handle. We never got around
But
to
the
it.
main one is at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook. Type in typical Chicago fans on there. Follow us on both of those. So follow us on all social medias. Go to our YouTube page. Go to YouTube. Type in typical Chicago fans. Subscribe on there. We're trying to get to 50. We're trying to give away a free shirt. We put all of our TCF morning show and our typical Chicago fans podcast on there. Go watch them. All the videos on there. Watch them. Like them. Comment on them. Let us know what you think of them. Let us know some ideas you want, whatever, about the YouTube page. And then wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, go on there. Type in typical Chicago fans. Follow. Yeah, right? Spotify is follow. And then Apple is subscribe.
Yeah.
Apple subscribe.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe, go to your local phone
we're-
store, subscribe on all the phones. rate on all the phones. Give us a 5-star rating and let us know. Give us a review. Let us know what you think of that. I think that's about it, boys. Right? We had
That's
our
about
guy.
it.
We had our guy.
That's all I got.
Pat Beals hit us up in the messages, wondering about the old the Marquee Network, and I am looking to look into this. So, Pat, if you're listening, maybe we need to get Pat on the show. Maybe we can talk about some of the Marquee. I think we need to get Pat on the show at some point.
I
Too.
agree.
We'll have to. Maybe he knows Pat. If he knows Skype, we can always have you on.
He can figure it out. He's a pretty smart guy.
If us three idiots can figure it out, then
Easily. But thank you to our.
Last thing, the Blackhawks wear those fire jerseys tonight.
Oh, the black
3-1, 3-1. They are back in the game. 3-1. Thank you to our sponsor, The Money Otter. Go to themoneyotter.com. This beautiful mug right here made by The Money Otter. You can go to the Money Otter. Check out their products on there. Go to their Facebook and Instagram pages. Check out all their stuff on there. Themoneyotter.com. Score Trader. We'll have more info within the next few days on the Iowa caucus event.
There you go.
That's how you would say it, I guess.
Yeah.
Event. On the Score
Just call it,
Trader
yeah.
app. Go to the Apple Store. Download Score Trader app. Get ready. We will have more information about that. Win some money. I'm guessing it's going to be for money. But I think there may still be football up on there, but it is not for money if there is football on there. But the political stuff, we'll get more into that in the next few days. Hopefully we'll have Owen on here to talk about that. Again, this has been the TCF Morning Show, Wednesday, January 22nd. We love you all.